see. Okay,
All right,
we got the engineer to fix it.
I'll get us going then. All right, I think we are ready to go this morning. Good morning. It's July 24, 2025. It's a little after 9:30. And this is a board meeting of the Texas Low-Level Radioactive Waste Disposal Compact Commission. Welcome everyone, and I thank you for attending. We have a quorum present, and I'll go through that. Our chairman, Mr. Hurley, is actually online today. I'm the vice chair. We have present with us today Commissioners Morris, Anwar, Sadiq, and Jeff is kindly here. Commissioner Nyack is online, and I'm trying to see, is Commissioner Bradford online? Okay, so we think Commissioner Bradford is actually not with us today. He is in Vermont. Commissioners, you have the agenda before you, and for the commissioners and the audience, it's going to be a full day today. We have 23 import applications. We have 2 amendment requests. We have 2 export applications. We need to vote on our budget. We need to look at the audit review. So we have quite a lot. We do have one minor correction to the agenda. Mr. Raines, and I should point out, Stephen Raines is with us today, as well as Megan. And do we have our Attorney General rep? He is online as well, so we are good to go. I'd point out there is a typo. Item 9 lists the BWTX Ordinance Tennessee, and the company is actually BWXT Ordinance Tennessee, so it's just a minor typo. Does anybody on the commission object to the correction of the typo in the agenda? All right. I don't hear any complaints, so we'll adopt the corrected agenda as is. All right, that takes us through item 1 and 2. Let me ask. I don't think we have any, but do we have any members of the press or elected officials in our audience today? Or perhaps online? Commissioner Janeka is online. Welcome and thank you for attending. All right. We are ready to move to item 4, which is public comment. Are there any public comments of a general nature? Let me explain what we're going to do, and it's our typical practice is if a member of the public wants to make a sort of a general comment on anything, they can do that now, or if they choose to make comments during technical reviews or any other item, you can do that as well then. So you can actually have 2 opportunities to make a comment if you'd like that. If you do want to make a comment, we'll ask that you please use your raise the hand function on the Zoom meeting, or obviously if you are present in the audience today, you can raise your hand and let us know as well. Do we have any hands up at this point? No. All right. Seeing nobody in the audience or online intends to make a comment at this point, I think we'll move on. And at this point, since Chairman Hurley was unable to join us physically in the meeting today, I'm going to ask Jeff to take over and chair the meeting so that I can conserve my voice for the technical discussion that will be upcoming. So Jeff, are willing to do that?
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm turning the meeting over to Jeff.
And the game plan is to do like we did last year. We're going to try and put things in batches. If anybody has a question or wants discussion on one, I would ask you to just let us know if you want to have discussion on a particular application. We'll pull it off to the side. That way we can take care of the bulk of them that have no questions or discussion at all. I will say Chairman Hurley's leaving at 10:45. Is that correct, Brandon?
That is correct.
And I have a hard stop at 1:30. So the goal is to work straight through and be completed by 1:30, whatever it takes. And I'm confident we will do it just like we did last year. So John, I know we were talking before we went online, and you had some ideas about how you want to batch these up. So you want to just talk about that and go ahead and start on, take us on our first batch.
Are we gonna do that? Or are we gonna, are we
Are we
gonna,
gonna do the budget? Okay,
Yeah,
we do
let's-
need to do,
right,
we gotta make sure Steve and Megan get paid.
right, exactly. So let's,
Yeah, absolutely.
take those out of
Let's do
order.
those, all right. The,
item H there.
yeah, and these have been published. I think what actually, I'm gonna defer to Stephen, who knows the weeds of the budget, and since it's his paycheck on the line, I'm sure he will do a highly competent job of it.
Happy to do that, commissioners and everyone online.
Can you speak a little louder?
Yeah.
Picking up.
Hopefully can y'all hear me good online?
Yes.
This is the budget for 2026. The commissioners, you guys always like to vote and approve what changes we make for the coming fiscal year before the fiscal year begins. A couple of notes to highlight for you. We have added a position for legal counsel for the agency, someone that we intend for someone to work part-time for us, but to pay outside legal counsel to help us on some of the items that we've been dealing with, especially related to some of the rulemaking and other legal matters that we've would like to have some help with. That's a new budget item. And then we've also got a new budget item for a technical consultant, which is someone that will be able to assist the commissioners and myself with reading through some of the material that we've been receiving from the reports that we receive on a regular basis, both semi-annually and as we go through management rules changes. This would be someone to assist with advising us on the technical nature of the reports that we're receiving. And there is a budget item for that is new. Other than that, there are very few changes to the budget from last time. I would like to point out for everybody that we have plenty of money left over. We're going to give money back to the state of Texas in a few weeks when the fiscal year ends on August 31st. So you might note in the budget how much money we will be giving back according to the amount that is left over.
And for the record, public record, how much is our total budget that we are making a motion to pass today?
The budget is 890. Well, let me pull my own budget. I should know the answer to
Get the
that.
exact number for us.
And to be clear, this is over a biennium, so it's a 2-year budget. So you effectively divide it in two for our yearly budget. And I think all we're approving today is the budget for the coming fiscal year. So it should actually be half of that amount, Stephen.
I
Yes.
believe the amount is $493,527.
Thank you. That's correct.
And just.
And Stephen, one other point about our outside legal counsel, I want to make sure that we don't leave any false impressions. We very much appreciate the work of the Texas Attorney General, Mr. Ogle. And so we're in no way replacing him. The outside counsel budget item is really for compact specific things that take maybe an expertise that really very few lawyers have. And so it is for very specific issues, but our general counsel will still be the Texas Attorney General and Mr. Ogle. And so I wanted to make clear that we are not in any way replacing Stephen. We're adding to our legal team.
Yes, sir. Thank you for pointing that out. With that, do you have any questions about the budget? And I also point out the administration committee played a role in developing the budget, which was Vice Chair Salzman, Commissioner Nyack, who chairs the administration committee, and Chairman Hurley were part of that administration discussion.
And the one other thing I was going to point out, Stephen, is this requirement to pass a budget is actually in our enabling statute. We are required. So we go through two budget processes. One is the actual appropriations process with the Texas legislature, and that is on a biennium basis, meaning it budgets us for 2 years. This approval of the yearly budget is a requirement of our statute, and it tracks the same thing that goes on with the appropriations request, but this is simply to fulfill our requirement in our statute that we approve a budget on an annual basis.
And I would point out, in case it isn't noted, they gave us $5,000 less per year than they did last time because we asked for some upgrades for infrastructure for the commission. And they did not give that to us. We did not ask for it again because we spent it last time. So our budget is $5,000 less than it was 2 years ago. I believe Commissioner Shadegg, did you have some questions?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
public education,
Yes, sir.
how does that work? I see you've got 24 budget of 50,000, 25 budget is 30,000, and a proposed budget of 40,000. That's where I read it.
Yeah, so are you asking why is it changed or what is it spent for or both? So we got money for public education that we used that to have a workshop last fall. And we also used it to pay for workshops that I've presented around the country on public education as well. I've been asked to speak at some other compacts and talk about what is going on in our compact with them and introduce specifically, they've asked me to talk about what they need to do to ship waste to our compact at other compact meetings. So that's part of that cost for that. And it could go for other things as too. That is what we have spent it on so far.
And as in our intention is in 2026 to schedule another workshop. And I think there's been discussion that workshop might actually be somewhere other than Austin. We talked about perhaps going back to Tennessee or another location, maybe closer to where a lot of the brokers reside.
And I want to add too that the last couple of weeks, the National Health Physics Society put on a science teacher workshop for teachers around the country. And I was a lead on that for content. So I thank the Compact Commission for sending me. So part of my travel was involved with public information.
Yes, sir. Ma'am. Answer your question, Commissioner?
Learning,
Yes, sir.
$50,000. What is that?
So that was what Chairman Herman was talking about before. The idea behind that was that we would hire an attorney that works on compact specific issues for us. And that will be a part-time person. That's not intended to be someone that works for us full-time. We would provide them with a monthly retainer and a billable hour rate that might go above a minimum that we would set with that retainer. That would be someone to be on call for us for questions that we have about legal issues related to the compact specific. Chairman Hurley, you want to answer that?
I say, Chairman Hurley, do you think we need to go into executive session to discuss this in any further detail about what the lawyer might do?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think quite candidly, that number is an educated guess, but we really don't know what the cost of an attorney will be. We have not reached out to an attorney yet. And so I think the number was something that we did based on kind of what we anticipate a monthly retainer requirement or an hourly requirement would be. But it would obviously kind of be that, since we don't know all the legal issues that will come up during a fiscal year, we really don't know how much or how little we will use one. And I think we will know more once we get the budget approved and we start looking for that attorney. But I think this was just kind of a number that we thought was reasonable. And if for some reason we figure out we're going to go way below it or way above it, we may have to come back and amend our budget. And we can do that. We can move money around in our budget. But this was just kind of the best guess of what we thought it would cost over a 12-month period for this outside attorney.
Anybody have any further questions?
Commissioner Jack, I have a question.
Oh, Commissioner Janeka is raising his hand. Commissioner Janeka is one of our colleagues from the TCEQ, Commissioner TCEQ. Mr.
Testing,
Janeka.
testing. Hi there. Bobby Janeka, TCEQ. Thank you all. I wanted to just ask a question of the commission on this point. And I would encourage y'all to take a look, review the outside retainer engagement documents and consider whether you may need to put in language allowing that outside counsel to assist y'all on public information, Texas Open Meetings Act issues. Where I don't want to speak out of turn, but as of a couple of years ago, at least, as I understand it, the Texas Office of the Attorney General has shifted its posture, and they are no longer providing legal assistance to agencies when we get into trouble over PIR matters, and we might need to go to court. We at least are no longer expecting an OAG attorney to go with us into that courtroom, and it would be something we would need to provide our own legal counsel, or similarly, if it was something that was expertise outside our agency, we would need to go get it there. We had to fight for a legal argument around an open records obligation. And that's something that I know the Compact Commission has dealt with in limited instances in past, but something that y'all may not be aware of. So just wanted to encourage you to visit with your OAG council, get an understanding of what their posture would look like if things went awry on that front, and ensure that whatever contracts y'all have in place or whatever council you retain also has that ability if necessary.
That's helpful. Thank you, Commissioner Janeka. Anybody else have any further comments? With that, the chair's going to make a motion that we approve a budget for next fiscal year of 498, 227.
493.
Pardon?
493, 220.
Can't read my own right. 493, 227. Is there a second to that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? All right, it passes. With that, I should have asked too, are there any public comments? I just jumped over that in a hurry trying to get our business knocked out. But see, we know now Commissioner Janeka is with us. We've heard from him, but does anybody from the public wish to speak? Okay, and with that, Mr. Carlson, would you like to give us your report, please, sir?
Thank you. I'll keep it short because I know we have a long agenda. Just to go through the items that I normally cover, let me start with constructed capacity. Right now, we have both phase 1 and phase 2 of the compact waste facility in service. The phase 1 constructed capacity is 450,000 cubic feet, and remaining from that is about 15% or 68,000 cubic feet. Phase 2A, which was put in service 17 months ago, is 425,000 cubic feet. And so far, we've used about 25,000 of that, or 5%. So we have more capacity than we've had in many years available for use. In terms of construction, there is no construction going on. There's no construction planned at this point. We have plenty of capacity for a long time. Let's see, in terms of disposals, current fiscal year to date, in compact disposals, we've had 12,196 cubic feet and 420 curies. Out of compact, 23,128 cubic feet and 61,632 curies. And just to generalize, since inception, we have disposed of just over 400,000 cubic feet of waste and about 632,000 curies of waste. Next item is our payments that we've made. We just made quarterly payments for Q3, the way that Texas calendar runs, of $913,000 to the state of Texas, $331,000 to Andrews County. The payments to the state of Texas does include actually the funding of the compact commission, flows through a few buckets before it gets there, but includes funding of the compact commission as well as several other things in the state budget. The total since inception, we're at $93.3 million to the state of Texas, $20.8 million to Andrews County. Since inception, that's been 13 years since inception. Finally, on license renewal, we are in timely renewal, as we've talked about previously. Nothing new to report there. I think we've provided some additional responses to questions from the state of Texas, and the state of Texas will complete their thorough review, and when that's completed, move on to the next steps of license renewal. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Anyone? Thank you, Mr. Carlson. John? I would like to, the chair wants to call two things out of order on our agenda while Brandon's still available to us. Let's do the two conditional export authorizations, because they are a little bit atypical, but I think we've settled this pattern in the last several years. For background for our new commissioner and the public, while he's pulling up the paperwork, our two in-state power plants, South Texas and Comanche Peak, each year come to us and have made a request for a export or a conditional export authorization. It's not that they actually intend to use it per se, but they want that pre-approved in case there's some sort of exigent circumstances where they are not hindered. So it's just a backup plan on a backup plan. And we've settled into a pattern that many years ago, we had quite a bit of discussion at length about what to do, and it's been settled now. And while Vice Chair Salzman's getting ready to technical stuff, Chairman Hurley, I think you were the one that's actually written out the two conditional authorizations. You want to talk about those just briefly for the record, and I would like to vote on those while you're still available to us since you've actually written them.
In kind of the simplest form, it basically is an export. It's a conditional export authorization in the event that the facility at Andrews could not take the low level, the Class A low level waste from our in compact generators. So it is not a blanket export authorization. It only is triggered in the event that for some reason the WCS facility couldn't take that waste. It is a relatively low amount. I believe it's 5,000 cubic feet, which obviously is really just, I think, kind of a stopgap approach to where that gives them, if they have an immediate need to export that, they can, before we could get back together as a commission and authorize additional exports based on whatever the circumstances are. So it really is kind of a Band-Aid approach to make sure that they don't get caught with waste that they can't get rid of before we can meet. So as Commissioner Mundy said, we have done this every year now. My understanding, and I'll let Dave speak to this if he disagrees, but WCS is not opposed to this contingent export authorization. And to my knowledge, Stephen, correct me if I'm wrong, there's been no objection we've received prior to today's meeting to these two exports either.
And I don't believe they've ever actually been utilized. So, but it's
No,
just
they have not.
I see our sponsors of this are here. John, you want to go ahead and give us the technical explanation of what we have, and then we'll follow up with a motion or any further discussion.
Sure. And I'll go ahead and provide the technical information for both export requests, and then we can vote on them as one. The first one is from Comanche Peak Power Company, LLC. In this case, Comanche Peak's the generator, and they're requesting the contingent ability to export waste for next fiscal year, so September 1, 2025 through August 31, 2026. The volume of waste is 5,000 cubic feet. The total radioactivity is 1 curie. The waste is Class A, and in this case, it's a low dose rate material generated by the plant. If the export were needed, it would go to Energy Solutions LLC facility at Bear Creek and Oak Ridge. And the technical committee recommends approval of this one. Next, let me scroll to it, sorry. The next application or request for export was from STP Nuclear Operating Company. And in similar fashion, this is really just for contingency. It would be, again, for next fiscal year. They've requested a volume of 5,000 cubic feet with a total radioactivity of 0.5 curies. Again, it's Class A. The material similarly would be going to the Energy Solutions facility at Bear Creek. And it is Class A bulk dry active waste. The technical committee recommends approval of this export as well.
And Mr. Carlson, do you have any opposition to these two requests? Okay, thank you. Mr. Adams or Christian, y'all have any comments you wish to add? All right. With that, yes, go ahead.
All right, I make a motion that we approve the export requests from Comanche Peak and from STP for next fiscal year with the details as I just described in the technical discussion.
And chair seconds it. There we go. Any further questions or discussion with that? That's what public, if you want to weigh into when I ask for questions, y'all are able to speak up if you so wish.
It's not online.
But no one? All right, with that, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Both pass. Thank y'all. Now, just a minute. Paper straight.
You want to go to the rules capacity?
No, that's, I think we're just save that to the tail end. Well, we can't, since I'm chair of contingency committee, we did not meet since the last meeting, so no report. Rules committee, do y'all have anything to report? No report from the rules committee, so those are done. Admin committee,
That was the budget.
anything other than what we just did with the budget? Anything else? Nope. Huh, all right, now it's time to get down to work. Don got his bottle of water. You ready to dig in, sir?
Ready.
This is where we, and for the public, this probably is half of our work for the year, this one meeting, and everybody's coming around because the fiscal year for the state, which we follow, starts on September 1. So these are authorizations for the fiscal year beginning September 1. So about, with that, John, if you would.
Thank you. As I indicated previously, we'll do these in a batch. The first batch will be all the regular import requests, and then the second batch will be those that involve irradiated hardware. So, and I'll ask Stephen to help make sure that I skip the irradiated hardware ones. All right, our first application, import application that was reviewed by the technical committee is from Thomas Gray and Associates, Inc., DBA Environmental Management Controls. It was received March 31, 2025. It's number 1-0473-00. In this case, Thomas Gray is a broker who is a licensed waste collector and processor requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the Act. They have specifically requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C. Stable and unstable discrete items, including sealed sources, macro-encapsulated, stabilized in concrete, depleted uranium, LLRW, and exempt items. And those wastes were approved for disposal at the compact waste facility via letter of correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. And I will note that we did receive a request from the applicant asking that certain items be stricken, which I actually did. Certain items in the waste description were stricken. We did receive a comment letter from WCS indicating they suggest we approve this application. That was received after I had actually completed the initial draft review. The applicant has indicated that the waste would be from a very long list of states. And I'm not going to read that list today. I will note that any waste that is received from the Southwestern or Rocky Mountain compacts will, require an export authorization. And to date, those export authorizations and generator authorizations have not been received. So in this case, the applicant will have to provide that information prior to shipment in no more than 4 information packages to our administration for review.
And just for the record, Commissioner Bradford has just joined us.
Yeah, sorry, except my camera doesn't seem to be working, but you get a nice view of what you'll see in Vermont in October.
Thank you.
I would note that the applicant has indicated the waste to be from small quantity generators, and based on the volume, Curie's generator types, the commission concurs. So long as none of the waste is from a nuclear utility, which we would verify when they send the information packages to us. And the applicant has requested an agreement for next fiscal year. So the dates will be September 1, 2025 through August 31, 2026. The technical committee recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
We have any questions? No, you can go to your next one.
All right. Our next import application is from Revity Inc. It was received April 16, 2025. It's number 1-0474-00. In this case, Revity is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the Act. They have requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C unstable, non-compactable laboratory trash, PPE, paper, plastic, metal, glassware, collected in metal and PVC containers, nylon, mylar bags, and solidified tritiated waste. Those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. They've requested authorization for 200 cubic feet and 1,500 curies. Again, we received a letter from WCS supporting approval of this import request. Revity is located in the state of Massachusetts, which is an unaffiliated state. Revity did indicate the waste to be from a small quantity generator. However, based on their previous dealings with the commission, we would disagree with that. They will not be treated as a small quantity generator. And they've requested an agreement for next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Oh, let's go to, oh, Dick's got one.
Could you elaborate on the last statement about based on their previous?
Part of our review and the awarding or disagreeing with regard to small quantity generator depends on the generator themselves. And very seldom do we ever approve a generator to be a small quantity generator. In this case, Revity's been in business for decades. They are a very sophisticated user of radioactive material. So they would not, in my opinion, qualify for small quantity generator status. They have radiation safety people, they have a radiation safety officer, they have radiation protection technicians, very sophisticated. So they don't need to be able to be set aside in terms of their technical capability to complete the proper paperwork that would be required by WCS or TCEQ. That answer the question?
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
But you have no reservation about approval.
I have no reservation on approval. The technical committee recommends approval. I just don't, would not recommend that we treat them as a small quantity generator.
So good. All right, let's go to our next one.
All right.
9C energy.
Yes, our next import request is from Energy Solutions LLC on behalf of TMI2 Solutions. It was received April 29, 2025. It's number 1-0475-00. In this case, Energy Solutions TMI2 is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the Act. They've requested authorization for Class B and Class C unstable metal from cooling coils from the reactor building air coolers. And that waste stream was approved for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. They've requested authorization for 626 cubic feet and a total radioactivity of 13 curies. The Commission received a letter from WCS supporting approval of this application. That waste will originate from the Appalachian states, so it does not require import or an export authorization. And the applicant has requested an agreement for next fiscal year, so September 1, 2025 through August 31, 2026. Technical committee recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Next one. So 9D, be our next item.
Our next one, we will skip because this is
Okay.
irradiated hardware.
Got it.
You might point out that we skipped 476.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna skip, at this point, we're gonna skip Entergy, which is number 4-77, but we also skipped 0476, and that application was withdrawn, so that number will actually never be used. All right, let me get to the next one. Our next import request is from Wolf Creek Nuclear Operating Corporation, received May 6, 2025. It's number 1-0478-00. In this case, Wolf Creek is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the act. They've requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C unstable resins, filters, and DAW. And those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter of correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. They've requested authorization for 700 cubic feet and a total radioactivity of 150 curies. In this case, the waste is from the state of Kansas, which is in the Midwest Compact, does not require export authorization. We did receive a letter from WCS supporting approval of this import. And Wolf Creek has requested an agreement for next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
No questions? Go to the next one, please.
Our next import is from BWX Technologies, NOG Lynchburg. It was received May 7, 2025. It's number 1-0479-00. In this case, BWX Technologies is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the act. They've requested authorization for Class A unstable DU residual waste, soil-like in texture in poly bottles contained in metal drums, DU contaminated debris and metal, and uranium metal that will be contained in metal drums. Those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter of correspondence from TCQ dated July 10, 2025. They've requested authorization for 150 cubic feet and 1 curie of radioactivity. WCS supports approval of this import application. That waste will originate from the state of Virginia, which is in the Southeast Compact and does not require export authorization. And the applicant also indicated the waste would be from a small quantity generator. However, for reasons, as I have discussed previously, the commission disagrees with that. However, the technical committee supports approval of the application. And in this case, the applicant has requested an agreement for next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, so when we disagree with their claim being small, quantity generator, should that be part of our finding here, part of our vote, or does it matter?
Actually, technically, it probably doesn't have to. It's really the way that we track the waste. If you're granted small quantity generator status, in essence, what we do is we say, irrespective of large quantity generators, you're going to get your waste accepted at the site if we begin to run low in volume or curies, which has never happened. If you're a large quantity generator and we begin to run short of one or the other, then you'd have to get in line for your waste. But again, that has never happened. Mr. Carlson, provided us a report today that says we have more volume for disposal than we've ever had before. Yeah. So it's really how we account for that waste in terms of their access to the site if we were to run low on volume or curies.
Well, I guess my only question though is, these are generators that will be coming back in the future, and my only question is, should that be part of what we vote on? The fact that they're not.
It is as part of my motion will be for those that we concur with, those will be treated as small quantity generators. For those that we disagree with, that is not just a generator like anybody else. Absolutely. Any other questions?
You want to take a vote on your batch to this point, just since you have, no, okay,
Keep going.
okay. Go to our next item.
I'm on a roll.
X is Excel, not in G.
Correct. Our next import request is from Excel Energy Monticello Nuclear Generating Plant. Received May 12, 2025. It's number 1-0480-00. In this case, Monticello, they've requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the act. They've requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C unstable powdered and bead ion exchange resin filters, DAW trash, hydrogen oxygen recombiner catalyst. Those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. They've requested authorization for 1,000 cubic feet and 100 curies of radioactivity. WCS supports approval of this import request. That waste will originate from the state of Minnesota, which is in the Midwest Compact and does not require export authorization. And the applicant has requested an import agreement for next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
No questions, go to the next one.
Before I go to the next one, I want to point something out, and Dick has asked a couple questions about the small quantity generator status issue. In our application process, some applicants accidentally check that box and don't mean to check it. They don't understand when they check that box what happens. And we've actually contacted applicants to say, why did you check that box? And the answer, we had a nuclear power plant check it once. And it's an oversight on their part.
I think we might want to take a look at the definition again, because nuclear power plants can't be small quantity generators, but anybody generating less than 200 cubic feet a year and 100 curies in a year is by definition a small quantity generator. Definition you just mentioned is a tweak to that, maybe a good one, but they can't read what you just said in our rules.
Happy to do that, and we can go into the rule if we need to and modify that, and we can also provide some commentary on our website to help.
While you're,
It's a good point you raised.
Yeah.
John, while you're clarifying the term generator, how does TMI2 still get to be described as a generator? It's been about, 48 years now?
I would say the reason they're a generator is because they own that material, as opposed to a broker who is getting material from someone else, right? So the way we look at a generator is, does the entity that has the waste own the waste? Did they generate the waste? And that is, they did. Now, clearly their operations were quite some time ago, but it's still the original or the entity that generated the waste is still responsible for it. So that's sort of how we look at that, Peter.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? All right, moving on. Our next import is from Constellation Energy Generation, received May 13, 2025, number 1-0481-00. In this case, Constellation is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste. They've requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C unstable, dewatered, and Powdex resins, filters, sludges, dry activated waste, process filters, non-irradiated metal components, and large components, and those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. They've requested authorization for 3,000 cubic feet and 5,000 curies. WCS supports approval of this import. That waste will originate from the states of Maryland, Illinois, New York, and Pennsylvania, which are located in the Appalachian and Central Midwest compacts, as well as one unaffiliated state. And those states do not, or those, compacts do not require export authorization. And they have requested an agreement for next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Not hearing questions, go next.
Our next import is from Pacific Gas and Electric Diablo Canyon Power Plant, received May 14, 2025. It's number 1-0482-00. And Diablo Canyon is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the Act. They've requested authorization for Class A and Class B unstable dewatered resin and cement encapsulated filters, and those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCQ dated July 10, 2025. They've requested authorization for 385 cubic feet and 145 curies. WCS supports approval of this import. That waste will originate from the state of California, which is part of the Southwestern Compact and does require export authorization, which has not been provided to date, so they will have to provide that. And they have requested an import agreement for next fiscal year. Technical committee recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing none, go next.
Our next import is from Arizona Public Service Palo Verde Nuclear Generating Station, received May 28, 2025. It's number 1-0483-00. Palo Verde is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the Act. They've requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C unstable ion exchange resin, cartridge filters, sludge, evaporator bottoms, dry active waste, and irradiated hardware. Those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter of correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. They've requested authorization for 2,000 cubic feet and 600 curies. WCS supports approval of this import request. That waste will originate from the state of Arizona, which is part of the Southwestern Compact, and does require export authorization, which has not been provided, so that'll have to be provided prior to shipment. And they have requested an agreement for next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing none, go to the next.
Our next import request is from Veolia ES Aileron LLC, DBA Aileron Nuclear Services. It was received June 2nd, 2025. It's number 1-0484-00. In this case, Veolia is a broker who is a licensed waste processor requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the Act. They have requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C stable and unstable encapsulated sealed sources, dewatered ion exchange resin, and dry active waste consisting of various materials. I'm not going to read the entire list. But those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. They've requested authorization for 2,000 cubic feet and 700 curies. WCS supports approval of this import request. The applicant has indicated the waste will originate from all states and U.S. territories except Texas and Vermont. So any waste from the Northwest, Southwestern Rocky Mountain compacts will generally require export authorization. To date, those have not been provided, so they'll have to be provided in information to our administration prior to shipment. And I would also note that at that time, the applicant will be required to provide additional details regarding any self-generated waste that they actually ship to the disposal site.
John, one question on this one. They're in good standing in all respects with us now, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They did request to be indicated as small quantity generator status, and similarly, we disagree based on the volume, curies, and types of generators that they typically asked for an agreement for next fiscal year, and the technical committee supports approval of this, recommends approval of this import application. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing none. John, we're gonna lose Brandon in 5 minutes. You wanna go ahead? Brandon, are you here till 10:30 or 10:45? I can't remember.
You're muted, Brandon.
Well, it's, what time?
Sorry, it's 10:45.
Okay, we'll keep rolling.
So we got
We're
20
gonna
more
get you on
minutes.
the record voting before you leave.
Okay.
All right, our next import application, let me check real quick here. We'll skip the next one, which is 1-0485 because it's radiated hardware. Our next import application is from Ameren MO, received June 12, 2025. It's number 1-0486-00. In this case, Ameren is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the Act. They've requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C unstable resins, filters, and TAW, and those waste streams were approved for disposal via letter correspondence from TCEQ. They requested a volume of 1,000 cubic feet and a total radioactivity of 300 curies. WCS supports approval of this import application. That material will originate from the state of Missouri, which is in the Midwest Compact. It does not require export authorization. And the applicant has requested an agreement for next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing none, go to the next one.
Our next import request is from Holtec Decommissioning International LLC. Received June 17, 2025. It's number 1-0487-00. Holtec is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the Act. They've requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C unstable irradiated hardware, reactor vessel components, and metal cuttings. Those waste streams for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCEQ. They've requested authorization for 150 cubic feet and 25 curies. WCS supports approval of this import request. That material will originate from the state of Massachusetts, New Jersey, states of Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, which are in the Atlantic Compact with 2 unaffiliated states, and the Atlantic Compact does not require export authorization.
Sure. Where they're not.
Yes,
part of them.
they include radiated hardware, but the radioactivity amount is low enough that it does not need to be contingently approved.
Double check, is this cubic foot request 65,000? Is that correct?
The next one. That's the next
Oh,
one.
I'm one ahead, sorry.
It is.
The current applicant has requested, which is Holtec, has requested an agreement for next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Not online.
Hearing none, go to the next item.
All right, get there. Our next agreement import request is from Holtec Decommissioning International LLC. It's received June 17, 2025. It's number 1-0488-00. That's authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C unstable feed, resin and powdered, resin and sludge, filters, dry active waste, high activity, large components, contaminated hardware, and non-irradiated components, sealed sources and containers. Those waste streams were approved for disposal via letter correspondence from TCEQ. They requested a volume of 65,000 cubic feet and a total radioactivity of 725 curies. And I'll stop there. I think there was a question.
Yeah.
Dave, can you speak to the issue of whether they truly meant 65,000?
And how much volume do you have available? It's like 300,000 or so. 400. That's, yeah. I actually would like to have a little discussion on this one, but I'd kind of like to do it while Brandon's here because he's dealt with this and I don't know if he's got some objection, but.
Well, let me finish and then we
Yeah.
can figure out.
Yeah.
WCS recommends approval of this import application. That waste will originate from the states of Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, which are the Atlantic Compact and 2 unaffiliated states. So there's no need for export authorization. The applicant has indicated they would request an agreement for next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, I'm going to go against what I wanted to do in the beginning about keeping us moving, but since Chairman Hurley has to leave in 15 minutes, and this one does involve a legal question to my mind, Brandon, I'm thinking about how the allocation over the life of the cell is allocated with 20% being, reserved. This is going to burn for our out of compact folks. Do you have any thoughts or comments?
Obviously, and I was going to actually bring this up during Mr. Carlson's presentation, but obviously, historically, people have used about 25% of the actual volume allocated to them. And so almost as sure as a Swiss clock, for the last 4 or 5 years, you have a total number and then the actual disposed number is about 25%. I do think that if we have a large enough quantity of cubic feet that we think could potentially create a capacity problem, we should probably address that and potentially make this particular one contingent in some way, to where I mean, I'm assuming there's a basis for the volume that they've asked for, but knowing what the historic numbers are and knowing that if we grant it, at least on paper, we are running into a problem with capacity. But maybe Mr. Carlson can speak to this and explain what's going on and if we need to address it in that way in some sort of contingent fashion, or if we can rest assured that they're never going to deliver this kind of volume anyway.
It sounds like he has plenty of room. This is going to take out, I'm not great math, 25% maybe. And I'm just thinking about our Organic Act, which has the amount that we can allocate to out of compact versus reserve for in compact. This is an awfully big chunk of out of compact coming in. Do you have any thoughts about that legal limitation we live under?
Well, in the past, what we have said is that 80-20 limitation is really on total licensed volume and not as built volume. But it's never really been raised as an issue because of the capacity we always thought we had. I guess if now is the time to have that discussion, we definitely could, if we want to reassess whether or not we view the 80-20 as a matter of total license volume versus as built capacity. And again, that may be impacted by the idea of if this volume is truly, expected and we know it's ready to ship and we are definitely gonna see it, versus is this gonna follow the pattern of other importers in the past who import about 25% of the volume that's allocated to them. So like I said, Mr. Carlson may have some thoughts on this as well as to whether how real this volume number is. And then I guess from there, I guess the discussion is, do we want to start looking at this from an as built per capacity or as licensed capacity?
And I think the Holtec rep was online raising a hand.
Berkeley, you put your hand up, but do you still want to speak? I know you put your hand down. Go. Speak. You should be live, Mr. Buckley, if you'd like to speak. You need to unmute yourself, actually.
I see Jim Buckley, you gotta click on your audio button, unmute.
Unmute.
I don't think. Here we go.
Okay, Mr. Buckley, you should be able to speak now.
There you go. This is Jim Buckley for the record.
I'm having difficulty hearing, but if you're calling my name out for a discussion, I could help Dave out with the partial answer to the question that was posed, and that is the basis for the HDI submittal. I'm responsible for those numbers, which include a combination of 3 decommissioning sites. That being Pilgrim, IPEC in New York, and Oyster Creek in New Jersey. So we have had a variable output with regard to delivery to the site based on the individual projects and sites activities and upcoming removal of higher activity materials that would be going to the CWF versus exempt low activity waste. That is the basis of that information. I did put a buffer, which buffered up that quantity. So if you think about the number forecasted by the projects was about 50,000 cubic feet. So I increased, by a historical number of uncertainty that we've had based on funding and activities. So a majority of that is coming from the IPEC New York project, which is involved in vessel segmentation. We're planning to start vessel segmentation at Oyster Creek in the start of 2026 calendar year. So a portion of that volume would be boxes of reactor vessel from both of those locations, which would be destined for CWF, and a portion lower activity going to the TSDF. So I've only included the portions for CWF intent in those numbers. And I'll be happy to answer any specific questions on the basis of the quantities.
William, I think I'd like to go back to Dave for just a moment. Dave, remind me the volumes again that you have available between the 2 cells.
Yeah, it's about 425,000 cubic feet. This is 65,000 cubic feet total. Right. So it's, when we first put the facility in, we hoped that we would do an expansion cell every 5 years. Obviously, we haven't needed that. We've been 13 years and have not consumed capacity of even a single cell yet. So we really don't see this as a constructed capacity issue. We don't see this as a licensed capacity issue because it really doesn't affect either of those. And in fact, it's an unusual circumstance in that there's 3 major decommissioning jobs going on at once. But this is not even what you expect is typical. 65,000 is not typical. It's because of the configuration of these decommissioning jobs right now.
So the 65,000 represents if they were to dispose of all of that in one fiscal year, that would still only represent about 15% of the available disposal capacity. The actual
Constructed disposal capacity.
Not total capacity available at the site, but only 15% of the actual constructed capacity.
And the way we pay for the next cell is we receive waste and receive the money for that waste, and that goes to the capital expenditure to build the next cell. So, you know, it's just part of the life cycle of how we do it.
It's been suggested that we'll take a vote, so, I make a motion that we approve, the import request from Voltec Decommissioning International, number 1-0488-00. It's Class A, Class B, and Class C unstable B resin and powdered resin sludge, filters, dry active wastes, high activity, large components, contaminated hardware and components, sealed sources and containers. The volume is 65,000 cubic feet. The total radioactivity is 725 curies. Material will originate from the states of Massachusetts, New Jersey, and New York. It does not require export authorization. And the agreement will be for next fiscal year, September 1, 2025 through August 31, 2026.
Have a second. Cheryl seconded. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I think we're gonna lose Chairman Hurley in about the next 5 minutes, so thank you for voting Chairman Hurley.
Thank you. I'm sorry I have to leave. Thanks, everyone.
You wanna finish out your others here?
Yeah, I'll keep going.
I think we're on 9P now, Palisades Energy.
Yes. Our next import request is from Palisades Energy LLC, received June 17, 2025. It's number 1-0489-00. In this case, Palisades is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the Act. They've requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C. Unstable in this. Hold on a moment. Don't make a mistake. Looking at the
2,000 cubic.
I was looking at the waste description, which is feed resin and powdered resin sludge, filters, dry active waste, high activity, large components, contaminated hardware and components, and sealed sources and containers. Just wanted to confirm that I had that correct. They requested for authorization for 2,000 cubic feet, 400 curies. WCS recommends approval of this import request. That waste will originate from the state of Michigan, which is unaffiliated. And they have requested an import agreement for next fiscal year. Technical Committee recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Hearing none, I'll move on. Our next import request is from NAC Phylotechnics Limited. Received June 17, 2025. It's number 1-0490-00. Phylotechnics is a broker who is a licensed waste collector and processor requesting authorization to dispose of wastes according to the Act. They've requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C unstable domestic sealed sources, special form material, decommissioning sources, dry active waste, instruments or articles, debris, demolition rubble, and other discarded radioactive material that is no longer used or wanted. Those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCQ. They've requested authorization for 200 cubic feet and 200 curies. WCS supports approval of this import request. They've indicated the waste will originate from all U.S. states and territories except Texas and Vermont. So any waste from the Northwest, Southwestern, Rocky Mountain compacts will generally require export authorization. To date, those have not been provided, so they'll have to be provided to the administration prior to shipment. Additionally, the applicant will be required to provide additional details for any self-generated waste that they choose to ship. And the applicant has indicated the waste to be from small quantity generator, and the commission concurs so long as waste does not originate from a nuclear utility. He requested an agreement.
The rule would say 100 curies is the limit for a small quantity generator.
I would agree that we likely need to look at the definition of small quantity generator. And our rules chairman has taken copious notes.
That's on my list. Thank you.
The applicant has requested an agreement for next fiscal year, and the tech committee recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing none, voting.
Okay, our next import is from BWXT Ordnance Tennessee, Inc. Received June 17, 2025. It's number 1-0491-00. In this case, BWXT Ordnance is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the Act. They've requested authorization for Class A, unstable, depleted uranium oxide and metal waste. And those waste streams were approved for disposal via letter of correspondence to the site from TC. Approved for disposal at the site. They were approved by TCP via letter of correspondence. They requested authorization for 1,500 cubic feet and 115 curies. They have requested, or I should say, WCS has recommended that we approve this import request. That material will be coming from the state of Tennessee, which is in the Southeast Compact. It does not require export authorization. And they've requested an agreement for next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Oh, we take about 10 minutes.
Sure.
The chair's gonna call for a 10-minute break. We've been running for a while. So everybody come back in 10, please. Thank you.
On the record. All right, we're gonna resume, and for the record, I will note, is this thing on?
Yes. Great.
You want it on? Okay. For the record, I'll note that we have lost Chairman Hurley's had to leave, and Commissioner Bradford has not come back from the break, so he's not present at this point in time. If he reappears, I'll note it on the record. With that, I think we left off at 9R was our last one. So we'll go to 9S next.
Yes.
All right, our next import request is from U.S. Army Munitions Command, care of BWXT Ordnance Tennessee, Inc. Was received June 17, 2025, and it's number 1-0492-00. In this case, USAMC is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the Act. They've requested authorization for Class A, unstable, depleted uranium oxide and metal waste. Those waste streams were approved for disposal via letter correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. They've requested a volume of 1,500 cubic feet and a total radioactivity of 45 curies. WCS supports approval of this import request. That waste will originate from Tennessee, which is in the Southeast Compact. It does not require export authorization. And they have requested an agreement for next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing none, we'll go to our next one. 9T.
Our next import request is from CNC Environmental, received June 17, 2025. It's number 1-0493-00. CNC is a broker who is a licensed waste collector and processor requesting authorization to dispose of waste. I would note that in their application, they actually checked the generator box, which is incorrect. They are a broker, not a generator of waste, and they will be treated as a broker.
They corrected that via emailed us too.
Okay. They have requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C stable and unstable. Class A debris, including DU metal, and Class A, Class B, and Class C sealed sources encapsulated for disposal. Those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCEQ. They've requested authorization for 300 cubic feet and 500 curies. WCS supports approval of this import request. CNC has indicated that the waste will originate from various states in the U.S., including U.S. territories and DoD installations abroad. So I'll note that any waste from the Northwest, Southwestern, or Rocky Mountain compacts will generally require export authorization. To date, those have not been received, so CNC will have to provide that information to our administrative staff for review prior to shipment. And they have requested an agreement for next fiscal year, which would be September 1, 2025 through August 31, 2026. Technical committee recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing none, go to 9U
You would,
versus hardware.
that's a hard one.
Yeah.
So the next application is from TVA, which is 0494, and that's irradiated hardware, so we'll be skipping that one. And the next import request is also from Tennessee Valley Authority. It's it was received June 19, 2025. It's number 1-0495-00. TVA is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste. They have requested authorization for Class A, Class B, and Class C unstable dewatered bead and/or Powdex resin. Sources that are both sealed and check sources, filters, compactable and non-compactable trash. Those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCEQ. They've requested authorization for 10,000 cubic feet and 1,000 curies. WCS supports approval of this import request. That waste will originate from the states of Alabama and Tennessee, which are in the Southeast Compact, do not require export authorization. And they have requested an agreement for next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing no questions, we can go to the next one.
Our next import request is from Vistra Corp. Was received June 19, 2025. It's number 1-0496-00. In this case, Vistra is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the Act. They've requested authorization for Class B and Class C unstable resins and filters. Those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCEQ. They've requested authorization for 1,000 cubic feet and 600 curies. WCS supports approval of this import request. That waste will originate from the states of Ohio and Pennsylvania, which are in the Appalachian and Midwest compacts, do not require export authorization. And they have requested an import agreement from next fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing none, that looks like the end of our applications. Next two things are amendments. So you want to conclude those or take a vote at this point? Okay. So would you like to make a motion?
Yes. Stephen, can you tell me which applications, I did not mark that, which applications we skipped?
the ones that you've. skipped
Nine
are
D
D,
and U.
477, 485, and 494.
Concur. Nine D, nine
right.
L.
So I make a motion to approve the import requests, which was 9A, 9B, 9C, 9E, F, G, H, I, J, K, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, V, and W. With the discussion that I provided during the technical review for the appropriate, particularly for brokers that will have to provide information which was not provided in the import request. All the imports will be for next fiscal year.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Or any further discussion?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I thought you had
You're correct, Dick.
B on that.
We actually, I amend my motion because we actually already approved the
Oh.
import request from Holtec, which was 488. That one has already been, so I'm removing 090 from my motion.
Does your motion include nine B as in Victor?
Yes.
Yes. That's the one with just resins and beads.
But not 9U.
Correct. So I amended my motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They all pass. So now we'll go back to 9D. Entergy.
It'll take me a moment to get there.
Yeah. You want to take these one by one or?
Yeah,
clump
we'll
these?
just,
Yeah.
well,
There's,
we can do them one by one.
Yeah.
It'll be relatively fast.
yeah. Let's see now.
All right. The technical committee has received and reviewed an import request from Energy Operations Riverbend Station. It was received May 5, 2025. It's number 1-0477-00. In this case, Entergy is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the act. They've requested authorization for Class B and Class C unstable irradiated hardware consisting of control rod blades and low power range monitors. Those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter of correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. They've requested authorization for 420 cubic feet and 85,000 curies. WCS supports approval of this import request. That material will originate from the state of Louisiana, which is part of the Central Compact. It does not require export authorization. They've requested an agreement for next fiscal year, September 1, 2025 through August 31, 2026. And in this case, if this import request is approved, it will be treated as contingent since it's for irradiated hardware and it exceeds 15,000 curies. The technical committee recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, I was about to-
For Chairman, for Commissioner Hanwar's benefit,
Yeah.
how the curie release.
Would you like me to do that?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and.
So I'll just take a moment to explain. The reason we came up with the contingent curie process was we do have a limit of 275,000 curies per year, which was imposed by the Texas legislature. There were a couple of previous disposal years when we received a large number of irradiated hardware requests. And had we actually approved all of them, technically we could have exceeded the 275,000 number. So as a way to ensure that even though we likely would never have ever received the 275,000 curies, we go ahead, any application that it requests 15,000 curies or above, we approve as contingent. And what we do is require that applicant to then provide us shortly before any shipment of materials, a letter indicating how much they want to ship, particularly how many curies they want to ship. It goes to our administration. They review that. We ensure that those curies are available, and then we approve that shipment. And that happens on a shipment by shipment basis for any applicant that has contingent curies that are approved.
And it can be an issue more in the late end of the year. There've been years we approved 400,000 or 500,000 total for the year, and then it's just a matter of them actually what's going through the gate, and we watch it. But that's a legal restriction. We cannot exceed of 275.
But I would point
We've
out,
never hit it.
we have never hit it.
No.
And this is just sort of to make sure that that can't happen.
Don't get caught in a box.
I think the closest we ever got was about
Yeah.
We've never hit it, but with more decommissioning going on, do you think it would be likely that it would increase over time?
I'm not sure that the decommissioning will drive this issue because most power plants ship their irradiated hardware while they're still in operation. They haven't tended to wait till they ceased operation and then shipped all that irradiated hardware. So most power plants are getting rid of that. I think the schedule of getting rid of irradiated hardware depends on dollars because it's very expensive, but it's also technically very complicated to ship that material and to go through the campaign to get it ready to be shipped. Dave, have I expressed that reasonably well?
Operation at the beginning of the year, they may not know precisely what they're shipping because it hasn't been packaged yet. So they go based on, they have good prior knowledge. Grant Gulf has good prior knowledge of what's happened before, and so they make their best estimate based on that. Now, it is important to do it because at some point they have to clear out their fuel pools because they begin to run out of space to do other operations. So they can't wait too long.
Yeah.
They have to
Okay.
eventually
I don't think, have we ever gone over 200,000 in a year? Nothing comes to mind.
I think we approached it. We may have gone over slightly,
Yeah.
but we actually never got close. We kind of thought we would, but we never got close to the 275.
I think the highest was like 218 or 217, something like that. It was below 220, I believe.
The 275 is a license condition for us, so
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
would be in violation of our license.
Well, that's if we're just explaining for everybody's benefit though, I mean, it's a legal restriction that we all watch but so we approve this and you will see in the end of the year, we may be way above that as far as approval, but it's really through the gate. That's why these people like to be first in line for the next coming year.
And I think it's fair to point out, we don't have above 275 on what you're approving today for the following year.
Oh, no,
It doesn't
not even
go
close.
above that.
Not even close. All right, well, thank you. And I guess, so did we vote? I can't remember.
We didn't make a motion.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
I make a motion that we approve the import request from Energy Operations Riverbend Station number 1-0477-00. It's for Class B and Class C unstable irradiated hardware consisting of control rod blades and LPRMs. The volume is 420 cubic feet. The curies is 85,000. Those will be treated as contingent. Material is coming from Louisiana, does not require export authorization. And the agreement would be for next fiscal year, September 1, 2025 through August 31, 2026.
All right, do we have a second? Carol second. All right, any comment? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. Next would be 9L, DTE.
And that is number
9L, that's 485.
485. Okay, hold on.
While he's looking for the public, we just stamp the applications in sequential orders they come in. So this would be application number 488. At least since we started this numbering system. I can't say for the life of the commission, but
This
current system it is.
actually, this numbering system was developed early on,
Yeah,
for good or for bad.
yeah.
Our next import request is from DTE Fermi 2. It was received June 11, 2025. It's number 1-0485-00. DTE is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste in accordance with the act. They are requesting authorization for Class C stable control rod blades, local power range monitors, dry tubes, and miscellaneous waste from the reactor vessel and filters. The waste volumes may also include secondary waste from cast decontamination. Those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. They have requested authorization for 300 cubic feet and 20,000 curies. WCS supports approval of this import request. That material will originate from the state of Michigan, which is unaffiliated. They've requested an agreement for next fiscal year, and if approved, this application will be treated as contingent since it exceeds 15,000 curies. Technical committee recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, we have no questions. So do we have, you've just made the motion? No, go.
I make a motion to approve the import request from DTE Fermi 2, number 1-0485-00. The waste is Class C stable control rod blades, local power range monitors, dry tubes, and miscellaneous waste from reactor vessel and filters, and may include secondary cask waste. The volume is 300 cubic feet. The total radioactivity is 20,000 curies. The material will originate from the state of Michigan, which is unaffiliated. The agreement will be for next fiscal year, and this material, the curies will be treated as contingent.
And do we have a second? I'll say. Seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next.
Just one moment, please.
The agenda item 9U for.
I have to learn to use Steven's bookmarks, but I'm gonna have to figure that out offline. My computer just doesn't seem to want to recognize them properly, at least not in the proper order. All right, our next import application is from Tennessee Valley Authority. It was received June 19, 2025. It's number 1-0494-00. TVA is a generator requesting authorization to dispose of waste. They've requested authorization for Class B and Class C unstable irradiated hardware, which is control rod blades, local power range monitors, intermediate range monitors, and core plate plugs. Those waste streams were approved for disposal at the site via letter correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. They've requested authorization for 400 cubic feet and 75,000 curies. WCS supports approval of this import request. That waste will originate from the state of Alabama, which is part of the Southeast Compact, does not require export authorization. And they have requested an agreement for next fiscal year. If approved, the curies would have to be treated as contingent since they exceed 15,000. The technical committee recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
No questions? Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the import request from Tennessee Valley Authority number 1-0494-00. The waste is Class B and Class C unstable irradiated hardware, which consists of control rod blades, local power range monitors, intermediate range monitors, and core plate plugs. The volume is 400 cubic feet. The total radioactivity is 75,000 curies. The material is from the state of Alabama, does not require export authorization. The agreement will be for next fiscal year, and these curies will be treated as contingent.
We hear a second. Motion's been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. Yeah, we're getting close. Got two amendments.
All right. All right. The technical committee has received and reviewed an amendment request from Southern Nuclear Company, Plant Vogel. That request was received April 14, 2025. It's number 1-0442-01. And in their amendment request, the applicant has indicated that they wish to add Class A waste due to a change in plant operations. They want to actually specifically add Class A resins, filters, and dry active waste. There were no other changes requested. The TCEQ approved these additional waste streams via letter correspondence dated July 10, 2025. The technical committee recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I have a question. What are we amending? I mean, we're going into a
The-
new
the waste
fiscal year.
stream.
Yeah, but I'm saying we're going to a new physical year.
They want to ship it.
Apparently they want to ship this material before the end of this fiscal year.
That's what I was trying to get out.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, so with that, does anybody have any other questions? Hearing none? Make a motion.
I make a motion to approve the amendment request number 1-0442-01 to add Class A resins, filters, and dry active waste.
We have a second?
Second.
Motion been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Last one is Toxco. Agenda 10B.
The technical committee has received and reviewed an amendment request from Toxico Materials Management Center, received June 19, 2025. It's number 1-0426. Second amendment request. In this case, Tosco has requested to add sealed sources to the waste description. There were no other changes requested in the agreement, and that additional waste stream of sealed sources was approved via letter correspondence from TCEQ dated July 10, 2025. So again, they wish to ship this material this fiscal year. The technical committee recommends approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
No questions? Do you have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the amendment request from Toxico Materials number 1-0426-02, and that is to add sealed sources to the waste description.
We have a second. Chair will second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I believe that concludes all of our applications.
27 up, 27 down.
Let's see, we have next, I think the only thing remaining would be to hear from our executive director, Mr. Raines.
We'll do the chairman's report. We do have
Well-
all of it in the chairman's report.
Well, you gonna do it for him, or chairman's not here today, so
I can do that. Commissioners on your agenda, normally in the, I'm sorry, let me turn my, commissioners and everyone listening in, Chairman Hurley is not here, but I'll give his report to him. The first thing, on his agenda is reports on communications with other compacts. We had a meeting, with, the low-level forum, at our last meeting in April, and a very successful meeting at that. The next meeting of the low-level forum is in Baltimore. Is that correct, Mr. Shrum? On October 15th and 16th. And I wouldn't be doing Chairman Hurley's job if I didn't harass Dan, because that's part of the agenda is to give you. I'm not nearly as good at it. But we will be in Baltimore this year. And everyone, if you would like to attend, we would love to have you there. Dan would welcome you with open arms to attend if you'd like to, here in the coming weeks. And we have our work group also that we have been working on intercompact communications, continues working on addressing some of the issues between the various compacts that are members of the forum and trying to address their concerns. But that's, unless you have anything to add, Dan, for the low-level forum. Next is the legislative update. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but the legislative session went by relatively uneventfully for the Compact Commission. We did, the budget passed, but there were no issues that actually changed substantively anything that's a requirement for us to do regarding low-level waste. There was some very interesting things done related to the nuclear industry, that the legislature created a fund and a program to try and encourage the development of nuclear power in the state of Texas, and put in $350 million for grant funding to help develop nuclear power in the state of Texas. While that doesn't directly impact us, it's important that as that $350 million in grant money is doled out, and if there are increases in further development of that program, that could mean more in compact waste, actually. That would all be in compact waste that would be generated. And important for us to note, as the legislature and the governor played a key role in helping that get passed. So if you have any questions about that, that was House Bill 14 was the number on that. But it has a significant impact, I think, over the long term of nuclear power development in our state. And Mr. Carlson could actually comment on that if you have any questions about what that legislation did. But I'm happy to answer that too. The last thing you have in your packet, the audit that we had for this year. We are required each year to have a audit conducted as part of the statute, actually. The group that we had do it this year came back. We came through clear. We have no problems with anything that happened in the audit, but if you have any questions about the audit, I can answer them, or Diane Fulmer, our accountant, who is part of that process, is also online if you have any questions about that audit.
So, as a matter of function, do we have to actually approve the audit?
I don't think you actually have to. We've signed it. Chairman Hurley signed it, and I've signed it. We have normally in the past actually moved to approve the audit. It is finished. The approval, I guess, is for maybe acceptance of the audit is probably a more accurate description of what you're doing, because the audit is finished. But that would be good if the commission would accept the audit as it
Yes, Stephen, I agree. You wouldn't accept the audit unless you dispute the findings.
Yes. Thanks, sir. That's Mr. Ogle, our counsel for the Attorney General's office, for those that don't know that.
You want to make a motion?
I make a motion to accept the findings of the audit as described by Stephen.
Second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to accept the audit passes. Give any other, when's our next meeting?
October 9th, but I did want to update you on one more thing. In my executive director's report, which is the next item on the agenda, just an FYI for you, our technical consultant for the commission, for our technology consultant, excuse me, for the commission, and I made some changes to our website and the infrastructure, backing up all the things that we do that provide us better cybersecurity, actually. Not that we've had hackers or any problems with that, but we made some infrastructure upgrades, and I want to make sure you are aware that we did that to provide better security and better backup in the event that somehow our website host were to crash and we were to lose our website. We have backups within backups to make sure that that won't be a problem in the future with our web host and with all the things that we're actually doing, backup of the copies of all of the documents that we receive, accept, and sign, actually, on behalf of the commission. But if you have any questions about that, I want to make sure you're aware we had made those changes.
Okay.
If the commissioners have questions, I'd be happy to answer those too.
Anybody else have anything to add? All right, well, I will say one thing before we leave, which is Chairman Hurley's term and my term are up at the end of this fiscal year. Chairman Hurley has reapplied, seeking reappointment. I have not. I told the governor last year, November, day after the election, I wasn't going to do it. While I love y'all, you're wonderful, enjoyed it. I've not asked for reappointment, just dealing with a few medical things, so it just gets harder and harder for me to travel a little bit. But wonderful group of people here, just tremendous. Ryan, you know, it's nice to meet you,
Yeah,
but
good to
it's
meet
a
you.
good group. The governor's office has asked that we hold over until they find replacements. Given that it was 9 months ago, they're still looking. They say they have nobody, but I told them I would hold over up to a year. I hopefully won't be doing that, and Brandon will be doing the same. So if I'm not here next time, it's been a pleasure working with all of y'all, and Mr. Carlson, you especially. So best of luck to all y'all, and may or may not see you at the next meeting. So thank you.
So I'll just, on behalf of Brandon and the entire commission, Jeff, thank you very, very much for your service. We don't get a lot of accolades on this commission, and very little notice, but I think we serve a very vital function for the state of Texas, and I thank you for your service. and
Thank
It's
you.
much appreciated.
It's been a pleasure. So, with that,
Dick, did you want to say something?
Yeah, before, we adjourn, the next meeting is
October 9th.
scheduled for October 9th in Vermont. That will be the peak day of foliage.
Guaranteed.
And,
That on the record?
absolutely.
money back guarantee.
No, I recommend you're showing up, the evening before, because I've scheduled a dinner then, at a nice restaurant in the, it's not as fancy as the Texas restaurants, but it's, and because they don't serve quite as much beef, but at any rate, I will, for those of you who may be there for a few days, and we hope that you will be, but I'm not hedging on my peak foliage prediction. But for those of you who may be, I'll circulate I've done this before. I'll circulate a few tips as to what you might want to see, or where you might want to shop, or whatever, to get a lot of maple syrup and stuff like that. So anyway, we hope everybody will show up, and if you can make it, you do.
I give you a definite maybe.
So anyway, we're grateful that you're all willing to make that trip. But it's nice in Vermont at that time of year. Nice for you, for that matter. Absolutely. And I just want to remark that I think John ought to get an extra bottle of water for. I thought his voice was beginning to go there at the end.
It's been done yeoman service today for sure, so. All right, does anybody have anything else before we adjourn? All right, well, thank you all for your time. We're officially signing off at 12:40 or so. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah.
All right, let's see.
11:40.
Just talk.
11:40.
forever.
Will do.
Well, thanks.
Oh, you bet.
Hope we see you at least one more time.
Oh, yeah.
I understand-
Absolutely.
I understand the issue with travel goes.